I've heard a lot of people say that the mind-muscle connection is BS and it doesn't actually help you build more muscle. I'm going to disprove that in this video and show you how connecting your mind to the target muscle is actually going to help you build more muscle. When I explain how this works, it's going to make total sense practically. However, I'm also going to link a study down below in the description as well, just so that this video is evidence-based as well. And also right at the end of the video, I'm going to share with you the one time that I would not recommend using this technique of connecting the mind to the muscle, because there is a training style where I would not recommend this. Let's make sure we all understand exactly what the mind-muscle connection is. So for example, if I'm doing a dumbbell bicep curl, a lot of guys are moving the weight from point A to point B, just up, down in that straight motion. Connecting the mind to the target muscle, in this case the bicep muscle, would be actually using your brain and thinking about that bicep muscle as you lift the weight. So when you lift that weight up, you're really thinking about the bicep, you're squeezing the bicep, and then you're thinking about the bicep on the way back down and really connecting your mind to that target muscle. One of the best pieces of advice I've ever given when showing somebody an exercise is to focus on the stretch and the squeeze. So to use that example with the bicep, the stretch and the squeeze would look like this. On the way up, you squeeze that bicep muscle. I'm squeezing that muscle right now. And then on the way down, I'll let myself feel that stretch, that bicep muscle stretching out. Focus on the stretch and the squeeze. And that allows you to connect to the muscle much more. I have an example of this because I actually coach my sister's husband, and he couldn't feel his back when he was doing back exercises, and his back is underdeveloped in comparison to the rest of his body. He just can't feel his back. He doesn't know how to feel the back. So what I did is I just put my finger right in the middle of his upper back, right in the middle of his scapula right there, and I said, just squeeze my finger, focus on squeezing my finger, and then all of a sudden he could now connect to the back and feel the back, and his back has grown much more from just being able to feel the muscle. When you can feel that muscle, not only will you build more muscle, you will also prevent injury and make sure that you're doing the exercise correctly and improve your form. You have to remember that exercise, especially on the big movements, the big compound lifts like a squat or a bench press or a deadlift, it's actually a skill to learn those exercises. You don't learn those exercises in 1 week. It's weeks and weeks and months of constant progress and improving your form, connecting to those muscles. That is a real skill. And the more that you practice that skill of feeling the muscle and connecting to that exercise, the more muscle you will build, the most you will get out of that exercise. One of the big reasons why having that mind-muscle connection actually works for building muscle is because there are many ways to build muscle, not just one way to build muscle.
I said, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
And one of the ways to build muscle is to get a pump in the muscle. A pump is that feeling that you get when you lift weights. It's more of a swelling feeling. Your muscles feel bigger, you have more blood and more water being pumped into that muscle. And when you get a pump, what happens is it sends a muscle building signal to the body, so you're going to build more muscle, but it also actually stretches the fascia tissue as well, which it stretches the tissue out, and then that allows for more potential muscle growth when it comes to your heavier sets. So does this mean that if you can't feel a particular muscle that you're not building muscle, that you're not growing at all? The answer is no. It doesn't mean it's not effective at all. It just means it's less effective. And my job is to teach you the most optimal way to train, the best way to build the most muscle in the shortest amount of time. And by feeling that muscle is going to allow you to do that. Of course, sometimes you have bad workouts. Sometimes I have a bad workout where I'm just not quite feeling the workout. Maybe I'm a little tired. I don't quite connect to the muscle or get that really good pump. That happens from time to time, but the majority of the time that should not be the case. Another little tip that I have for you guys as well is after every single set, I've noticed a big difference since doing this, is squeeze the muscle you've just worked for 5 to 10 seconds. Just hold that squeeze. So for example, you've done a bench press, you stand up, just squeeze your chest together and really feel that, even if you just do that right now. And there are studies out there that show squeezing your muscle can actually produce muscle growth. Even if you've not lifted weights, just squeezing a muscle can actually help you build more muscle. Now, once again, it's not the only thing you should do, it's to supplement your current training plan. I promised you guys the type of training when you should not actually use this technique, and that is if you're on a strength-based program, which at some point you should be switching over to a more strength-based program for a period of time. It's very important to change things up and to have different goals, because when you train to build muscle for hypertrophy, yes, you want to squeeze those muscles, it's bodybuilding, you want to build the muscle. However, when you're training for strength, you have to just change your mindset, because when you're training for strength, you want to lift the weight from point A to point B as efficiently as possible with good form. You don't need to be feeling the target muscles, it's about lifting as much weight as possible safely and most efficiently. The video that I want you guys to go through and click on next is about the anabolic window. I think this is a good video for you guys because this video is about busting a kind of a myth and making sure everybody understands exactly what the mind-muscle connection is. The anabolic window is exactly the same thing. Is there such a thing as an anabolic window? If there is, how can you use it? That video is going to give you the information that you need. And also for you nerds out there, don't forget to check out the study that I referenced for this video, which is in the link in the description.